Well, hello and welcome to Faith, Philosophy and Life with me, Mr. Shelton. It's great to see you again, and I hope that you've had a reasonable summer. I hope that you're well. If you're watching this at home because you can't be at school, then I hope you're back at school soon. And if you're watching this because you just want to watch me, good luck with that. We're doing our Catholic Specification Spec B of Educas. It's a unit called Life and Death, and today we're going to be thinking about a soul and different experiences that people might have that might indicate there may be an afterlife. So I'd like you to grab a bit of paper and a pencil, and I'd like you just to draw a little picture of what you think heaven might be like. Okay, it might be rosy little clouds, or it might be rainbows in the sky where unicorns dance. I don't know, but you draw a little picture of what you think heaven might be like, and then get ready to show your teacher or your friends. Okay, normally I'd say pause me if you need to, so just pause me whenever because I'm going to move on. Here are some more images about what some people think the soul might be like or what the afterlife might be like, and I wonder if any of those are really speak to you. So we're now going to have our classic cheesy intro sequence, and just get anything finished that you need to and get ready because we're about to start with our objectives. Okay, so our title today is What is the Soul? What is the soul? And today we're going to understand the differences between Catholic beliefs and other popular beliefs about the soul. So we're going to understand the differences between Catholic beliefs and other popular beliefs about the soul. Now remember, when I say Catholic, it falls under the umbrella of Christianity, as it is just a denomination within Christianity as well. So it's going to be a good outcome if you can retell what the Catholic Church teaches about the soul. It's going to be great if you can link various ideas about death to a religious tradition, and even better if you can reflect on what you believe and why you believe what you do as well, because this is a topic which is probably quite close to a lot of our hearts, especially with the current crisis going on. Okay, so I'd like you to draw a little mind map out for me, please. And it's got near-death experiences, mediums, paranormal, reincarnation, and the church on it. And what you're going to do is I'm going to show you one clip now about near-death experiences. And I just find this a really fascinating clip. And this is going to play in a second. And what I'd like you to do is to make some notes around the near-death experiences while this clip is on. And I'll talk to you about the others in a moment. Okay, so evidence for the afterlife, near-death experiences. Let's just watch this together.
I used to think when you died, you just sort of died. That was it. You just sort of checked out into the darkness. And when you've had a small child pat you condescendingly on the wrist, like I have had, and say, "You'll see, Dr. Morse, heaven is fun," you can't help but to be fascinated by these experiences.
You hike?
For nearly 2 decades, pediatrician Melvin Morse has been documenting the near-death experiences of critically ill children. Morse has found that despite their ages, these children seem to come away from their experiences with a unique understanding of both life and death. He has found that when he interviews young children who have had near-death experiences, they often say something like, "Wow, I saw a light." They have the perception that after they return to life, that light is always with them, and there are pieces of that light in everything they look at. Dr. Morse believes these children come up with the same type of insight that theoretical physicists get in the laboratory, that life is a pattern of universal energy. Whether we want to call this energy pattern God or not is up to the individual. Throughout the years, Dr. Morse has compiled hundreds of drawings and writings created by children who have returned from the brink of death. The following are just some pictures and writings. Just wanted to get to that light. Forget my body. For a week, I could see sparkles everywhere. I wasn't afraid to live again, because I knew someday I would see that light. Incredibly, many of these children, barely old enough to write, describe in great detail images and emotions nearly identical to adults who have had near-death experiences.
Okay, so now you've watched that, now you've got the idea. In the description below are the links for all the other clips that you're going to need for this section. Some of them are quite lengthy, so I would recommend that you only watch a little bit of them unless you're really getting into them. And the mediums one, I think could be a little bit upsetting. So if you find that it's getting a bit uncomfortable for you, just move on from that. The idea is around it is for you to write down some information about those topics, having watched what you're watching. So that's the plan anyway. So access the description below, click through those links, and make sure you come back to me afterwards, because we've got some other stuff to do as well. And that will give you the idea about what other people believe about the afterlife as well, and maybe the soul could link to that as well. Okay, so what do Catholics think? Okay, here's a little bit of note-taking for you. The Catholic Church rejects the evidence of mediums, ghosts and superstitions that deny the respect and love that we owe God alone. So in other words, the Catholic Church would not agree with the vast majority of what we've just talked about. The Church also rejects reincarnation, the idea that you become alive again as another being after death on this planet. And Catholics believe the soul was a gift from God and will return to God after death. So the soul doesn't necessarily exist prior to being born. It's not the idea that the soul's in heaven and then we're born with it and then it goes back to heaven. The Catholic Church teaches that we are born with a soul that God creates and gifts us, and then that goes to heaven, hell or purgatory afterwards. So make sure you've got some of that written down, maybe around your mind map if you need to, and maybe explain what you think about the soul as well. Any of your work you're doing now, please make sure you photograph and send to your teachers, because we really want to and need to see it. So, what do you believe about the afterlife? It's a huge question, and now hopefully you've got some information to be making a decision, and maybe you don't believe that there is one, and that's absolutely fine to hold that belief. However, I think it's really important that you address why you think what you do. So what we've done is we've talked about the Catholic Church teachings about the soul, and we've talked about different ideas as well there in terms of religious tradition. So we're going to now look at a C-style question. And this is one that's got 2 paragraphs, if you remember: point, evidence, explanation and change, or point, evidence, explanation and change. So you need two views, so what Catholics believe and what other people might believe. And you need to put a quote or a source, or use some specific language like keywords. And the question is this: explain the differences between Catholic beliefs and other popular beliefs about the soul. This will take you about 8 minutes or so to do, but that is where I'm ending it today. So thank you for your time. I hope that you found this lesson helpful, and I know we'll be on a journey together. So stay safe, wash your hands, God bless you, and I'll see you soon.